maximum number, finding the maximum number from an array. So first we are taking an array here and we are calling the max in array function here. We are calling the max in array function that will give us the maximum value of the array and store it inside the max variable. So we're passing the whole array by it's by reference. We know if we send array like this, then we call it pass by reference. So if we pass by reference, the changes inside this function will affect this array as well. Okay, so let's move on. So first we don't know what is the max. So we are declaring the first element of the array as max. And then we will check the conditions and keep updating it. So let's move on to the first iteration. So here we have declared the condition for looping through the array. I think I don't need to explain it further. So we are checking. I am explaining the first iteration now. We are checking if 5 is better than equal to that max. So we have declared first that max is array of 0 means this first element we have set is as max. Then we compare it with the next element. After first iteration, it will see that the both are same, so it will not update max. So after second iteration, we will check it with 1. So obviously 5 is better than 1. So there will be no change in max. After that, when we go for the third iteration of this loop, we see the condition is now becoming true. Until this, the condition was false, but now it's becoming true. So what? Max will be updated with the value. So max will be updated by 9. And then after fourth iteration, we see 3 is obviously less than 5, so this condition won't be true. So after the end of this loop, the for loop, we will get the maximum value in this let variable inside the function, and after that we return the max variable, sorry, the max from the function. So the return value is taking place here in max and we are consoling the max. So if we run it, we get 9. And then let's move to the sum. Yes, the sum of elements in an array. So for this, as usual, we are taking an array and we have declared a sum array function and we have called the function and send the array by reference. Okay, so any changes inside the array will affect it. So I think we will not change anything here in the array. Okay, so for calculating sum, first we are initializing sum as 0. Why? Because we will keep adding every element after every iteration of the loop. So after first iteration, we will add 0 plus 1, then sum will be 1. After the second iteration, we will add 1 plus 2, then sum will be 3. In this way, if we loop through the whole array and keep adding, then we get the final sum. And we return the sum from this function, so that return value is taking place here. Oh, sorry, here I have not declared anything. It will not create any problem, but we should keep this in practice. So okay, so if we run it, we will get the maximum sorry, not maximum, we will get the sum of all the elements in this array. Okay, so let's move on to the number of events in an array. So for this, we are taking an array and calling a function named find even of array. So it will return an array and that will be printed here in our command window. Okay, so let's move on. So we have called the function and passed the whole array in it. So the array is now this. So we are declaring a constant even array and we are keeping it blank because when we find a even element, we will push that element in this even array, and then we will return the even array from this function. That's so simple. So let's move on. Okay, so the even array we have declared here. So now what we will do, we will traverse through the array. Okay, so for traversing, we all know the condition, what it should be. I have explained in previous videos, so I will not explain more here. And traversing, we will check a condition if the element of this array is even or not. So for checking this, we need to traverse through the first, second, third, and till the end. So when we go for the first iteration of the loop, we put here a if condition, obviously, to check if the number is even. So we all know that a number is even if it is divisible by 2. So in programming, if we want to check that a number is divisible by 2 or not, then we need to find the denominator. I think it's denominator. Okay, so we need to find the denominator of it. So here the denominator we need to so for being divisible by 2, the denominator should be 0, and if it is not divisible by 2, then the denominator wouldn't be 0. So we are checking that condition using this, and if we get that the denominator is 0, then we are pushing that element. Suppose we are looping through the array and we have now the first element, so it checks the condition and sees that it is not true, so it moves on and goes for the second iteration, and in second iteration it sees that 2 is divisible by 2, obviously, so it is pushing 2 inside that even array. Then it is checking 3, then it is checking 4, 5, and 6, and pushing only the even elements in the even array, and then returning the whole even array. And here we are consoling the whole even array. And so if we run this, then we get only the even elements from the array. Problem 3, which is called is string palindrome. So palindrome means if we reverse a word and it still remains the same as it was before reversing, then it is called a palindrome. So for checking this, we need to reverse a string and check it with its initial value. So first we are taking a constant variable, naming it string and putting the value madam. So then we are directly in a console log, we are calling the palindrome function that will check and return if the value is palindrome or not. So, okay, so suppose we have passed this value to this function. So now str means madam. And so what we need to do, we need to reverse the string. So for this, we are taking a variable named reverse, and we are putting nothing inside the variable, and then we are looping through the string. How would we loop when we reversing it? We will take the last element first and put it inside the reverse variable. Then we will move to the next and put it inside it. In proceeding this way, we will start from the ending of this string and we will end at the beginning of this string. So for this, we need to start from string length minus 1. It is because the string has 5 elements. But we know if we want to access a element of string through indexing, then what we need to write? We need to write string of 0. Then we can get the first element, and if we want to get the last element from here, then we need to write string of 4, not string of 5. That's why we are taking their the string length minus 1, means 1 less than minus 1. That means we are starting from the str of 4, then str of 3 to 1 0. In this way we will get the reverse value. After reversing it, we are taking a if condition and checking either the value is similar with the previous value or not. If so, then we are returning true. Otherwise, we are returning false. So the true or false will be printed through this console log. So if we run it, it's true. Count the number of vowels available in a string. So first we are declaring a string and initializing it the value programming. Then we are calling the count vowels function to find the number of vowels available in this, and we will store it in this vowels variable. So let us move to the function. So here we are calling the count vowels function and passing the string here in that function. So this value is taking place of this string and the further operations are being done here. So first we are declaring let count is equal to 0. The count variable will give us the number of vowels in this word after the end of this function. So here we are declaring count is equal to 0. Now we'll look through every element of this string. We will look through every element of this string. So for this we are declaring a for loop here, and we are starting from the 0th index, and we are moving moving until we reach string dot length minus 1. That means until we reach the last element of this string. So here the condition is for that. Okay, so after this condition we are going inside the loop, and here we need to check if the selected alphabet is a vowel or not. So for doing this, we need to compare it with all the possible vowels. So the condition is first checking if the past, sorry, the condition is checking if the not a word, if the alphabet is A. If not, then it is further checking if the alphabet is E. If not, then it is further checking if the alphabet is I. In this way, it is checking all the values. And if it find any of this true, then the block inside the if condition will be executed. So in case we get a vowel, the value of count will be increased by 1. Then the loop will go for the second iteration, and doing this way, it will complete the loop through the whole string. And at the end, we will get the number of vowels inside this count variable. And then we return the number of vowels from this function. And after returning calling this function gives us the number of vowels. And that is stored in this vowels variable. And at the end we here console the number. That's the end. So if we run it, we get here 3 in the. So next let's move to the